right, everyone, thank you once again for joining us on Overshot, a Paintball podcast. Before we get started with our sponsors for this episode episode is again at the Woodsball World Cup. This is with Andy and the Ali Remembered Foundation. They're a great foundation out of Denver. We'll get into everything that we'll get into all the details about the foundation and all that stuff in the episode, so I won't go into it now. But this is a great episode. Super informative. They're a great organization. We're really happy to be able to share their message with our listeners. And at the end, we have another person connected with the foundation. That's DJ. You'll get to know him as well. We're going to put both of them together on this one. Again, this is also at the Woodsball World Cup. Might be some background noise and things like that. Just be aware of that kind of stuff. And now that we're through that, I just want to tell you about the sponsors for this episode. They, of course, and always, Diazana Sports, man. Diazana Sports are makers of the SF joggers and the Grind Air gloves, as well as the new duffel bag they have for pre-order. Their stuff is fantastic. We just came back from ICPL. Everybody was wearing their pants. It was great. It was so hot. This stuff is very light fit. It was fantastic. It was disgustingly hot at the event, dude, to be perfectly honest. It was gross. But Diazana kept us laced up, and they kept us nice and cool with their lightweight gear. Go to their website, diazanasports.com, and anything you buy from their website, use code OVERSHOT when you check out, and you'll save 10% off the entire order. Their stuff is really fantastic. Definitely go check them out. And there's one more I have to tell you about, and that's Volcano, man. The best gear bag. I mean, we had 4 people in our car. We had 2 Volcano bags. It made fitting all of our gear and stuff in the car perfect for when we went to Maryland for ICPL, which was a great time. We'll talk about it in probably the next episode coming out after this. But their bags are truly fantastic. Carlos and the guys over at Volcano are totally crushing it with their colorways and everything like that. Their tech tees are fantastic, man. So head over to their website, which is volcanousa.com, and use code OVERSHOT10 when you check out, and you'll get 10% off your bag and anything else you pick up at the website too. Like I said, their stuff is great, and we love supporting them and stuff like that. So definitely go check everything they have out on their website, as well as Diazana, and we hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see you in there. All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, guys, we are here with Andy from the Ali Remembered Foundation here at the Woodsball World Cup. Before we get into your foundation and all the great stuff you do, tell us about this experience here at the Woodsball World Cup and what do you think so far?
This is the first time coming back to play mechanical in the woods since the last time, which was 1999.
So it's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. That was the International Masters that Lively used to do.
Okay.
We won that one, and then...
Will you win this one, though?
Well, we're trying. Got a bunch of old guys, though, so it's kind of like, come on, catch up.
Yeah.
When you're playing with all the Hall of Famers, but what an experience.
Yeah, right. Isn't it great what Kevin's put on?
Hats off to him for everything he's done.
Right. What do you think of the field so far? You enjoyed the field? Is it not really your style?
Oh, no. The fields are awesome, but this one is brutal.
It's brutal.
It's downhill, hit the ravine, up the hill, get the flag, down the hill, back up the hill to hang it.
It's going to be tough to hang. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, you need a golf cart.
Well, I mean, you guys got one. Just,
yeah, we do.
That thing out there. That thing out there, VIP status, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin said you could do what you want, so just kind of roll with that.
Yeah, but he won't let me run to the flag station and just take the flag and run back. And, just call it good. Supposedly we could still get shot, so, it's like, not everything, Kev. But...
Right.
No, dude, so I'm really excited to talk to you about the Ali Remember Foundation. Yeah. So tell us all about that. What made you start it? What is it?
So the Ali Remember Foundation, don't get choked up, back in 2017 in July, my daughter was murdered.
Oh, my God.
For a domestic violence situation.
Oh.
And, signs were there, but we weren't paying attention. As a father, it was an egotistical, men.
Yeah.
Right? You're the protector. You take care of your kids. So you miss the signs of what the piece of the domestic violence and the control by the boyfriend was doing. Because then as a father, you're pushing to, stomp.
Right.
And so you kind of I missed all these things. And, we tried to coach him and give him relationship skills and things like that. But he went to prison for 7 months on some felonies. Ali was supposed to leave for the Navy. The DA let him out early. Just kind of got back with him, and we didn't know it. And then 2 weeks later, she was gone.
Dude, we are so sorry. Dude, that's brutal. Wow.
As I said, don't choke up.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what do I say next now after that? Jesus. But so that was the biggest starting the foundation. And what were some of the early stages of this and getting it off the ground? What did that entail?
Spending a bunch of money and hiring a company to get a 501c3. Get it all set up and business licenses and stuff like that. But the goal, I was sitting there, it was about 4 days afterwards, and she had just graduated high school. Mm-hmm. So all of her friends from high school wanted to do a vigil. You see everybody do candlelight vigils, things like that.
Right.
And they had a bunch of them in contact, and they said, hey, would you come out and speak? So I showed up that night, talking to this whole entire, high school graduated class. And somebody was like, well, what are you going to do in the future now that she's gone? And I just looked at this whole class and went, I'll start a nonprofit, and I will go out and combat domestic violence, because if I can rally enough people, get everybody, and we can educate teens on dating violence, and adults alike, and parents, and it doesn't matter who you really are.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. That what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to make sure this never happens to anybody else again.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's fun. Try, yeah.
Education is the big piece. Working on, especially men, ego.
Yeah.
Is a big piece, and anger.
Right.
Things like that. But teaching, all the kids what to look for in the signs so that they don't get caught up and involved to where it can escalate to such a bad ending.
Right. And dude, I think what you're doing is fantastic, man. And what are the things you do to kind of grow awareness? You guys attend events or anything like that? You guys held fundraisers?
Yeah. Well, we got it going. It was, let's start with local. Right? Mm-hmm. So we're in Aurora, Colorado. We can go out and help local kids. But I had retired from playing about 8 years previous.
Okay.
And I had some of my employees at work were like, hey, we want to go shoot the boss. And I looked at them and I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, we started playing this game called Paintball. And they're fired up. And they're like, yeah, we're buying these guns and markers and all this stuff.
You kids think you're all right?
Yeah. And we're going out to this field called Dynamic and we're playing. And I'm like, So I let them go for about a week, and then they kept going. And then finally they're like, hey, look at this flyer. And I was like, oh, look at that. They're doing a charity event, just to give back. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'll come out and play. I had no clue.
And is that what sucked you back?
No clue, right? Because I was a wholesale distributor for over 15 years and traveled the world and all these things. I was like, these idiots. So I called up my buddy Tom Boot. He'd retired. He's kind of playing, but he's like, yeah, we got to go play. So we showed up that day. I'm wearing my old X-Ball jersey, and my old JT pants. I've got my Carnivore, with me. I pulled that thing out, lubed it, put a new battery in it, checked it. Had to go buy a new tank, buy a new hopper. Showed up out there, and
what do you mean it's out of hydro? What do you mean?
Yeah. They're looking at us like, I'm like, I just borrowed it from Tom. So they're like, well, I was like, what do we do? They're like, well, you two are going over there, and we're going over here. I just what the ref tells you. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So we get down to the flag station. I just looked at Tom. I'm like, go easy or just destroy him. And Tom's like, let's destroy him. I was like, good choice.
Yeah, I like that one
said,
better.
Go down the tape on this field. It's a wreck field.
Right.
And got down, and I'm just sitting there in my Carnivore, just long balling them, then bonus balling them, sending them out, and they're just like, what the heck's going on? We get off the field, and they're just like, what's going on? And we're not even hit. I was like, let's go do that again. Yeah, a couple times later, they're like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Have you done this before?
Like, wait a minute. I'm like, you guys should have Googled my name. I'm just saying.
Bro, what a flex, dude.
Just like, they're like,
yeah, you should have fucking Googled me, suckers.
that we've played. Yeah. He's been playing since '89, and they're all like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, I've been around the world.
Yeah.
I was just like,
you guys better recognize.
Yeah. So
you said Google me, bitch.
Yeah. So that last game that day, Tom's like, hey, we should, ironically, which is funny because I'm playing with the band today.
Yeah.
Tom's like, we should put the band back together.
Yeah.
Same thing that started us out here with all these legends of the game.
Yeah, right.
Put the band back together. That's the thing, man.
Yeah. So we started a team. Started doing, some domestic violence work. And then in 2019, back in, was that August or something, I hired a company, started filing. And then, what was it, March or February, we got our 501c3 last year. So we were at the NXL, getting things ready to go for our Pit Pals program with that and a bunch of other things. And then, a couple weeks later, we all know what happened.
Yeah.
COVID decided to wreck us all.
Yeah.
So
She's some bitch, ain't she? Yeah.
Yeah. So we couldn't really do much last year, but we were just putting the pieces together.
Right.
So we started going after, teams that can, wanted to go out and help. We started getting kind of recognized, and we had players and stuff coming from, let's do this in paintball.
Right.
We have a worldwide audience. Players need help. Just because you play paintball doesn't mean you're superhuman.
Right.
And you're not affected by crime and domestic violence and losing your job. We're all human, right?
Right. I mean, the one thing you can say about paintball is you meet people from all walks of life.
Exactly. So we're like, that's a great area to get in. Help players. Right? And let's get some teams. And then we can have some teams in areas that when we need them, we can say, hey, we're going to send, 10 kids from, Bob's or Diane's, domestic violence shelter out to the local field. We pay for it because you got all these shelters that have all these kids in there that are teens. There's nothing for them to do. Yeah. So we can bring them out to the field to go play if they want to.
Right.
Some kids might have been a gun violence thing going on, and maybe they don't. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like you want to
go. It's a marker. That's why
it's a
marker.
You want to go jump on tramps. You want to go bowling. Doesn't matter.
We'll pay
to go do that.
Get them out of the house.
Yeah, exactly. We try to get them to come out to the field, obviously.
Right.
Right.
Check out this amazing sport that we
Paintball's
love.
first. Oh, you want to go bowling? Okay.
No, that's inside. That's COVID time.
Right.
Outdoor recreation only.
Let's get out. Outside. Get off the couch. Away from the Xbox. Let's go do this for real. So we got that going. We have the Pit Pals program, which that's for the NXL, where we're bringing. We haven't done it yet because I couldn't make it a couple weeks ago, but we'll be bringing out 4 kids to each NXL event.
That's awesome.
All of our sponsors, I call them sponsors, they're really Allie remembered supporters.
Okay.
Because we have them on our jerseys, but
right.
all these companies are supporting the nonprofit, not just a team.
Right.
So it's a little different scenario.
Right.
But they throw in a little goodie bag, and then the kids will show up at the Virtue tent, and then Chris and Aaron and me and everybody will be there to meet them. They'll get special NXL cards. They'll get an NXL shirt, which I'm not wearing my Pit Pal shirt, and then we have them set up with pro teams.
Awesome.
So then one of us, or one of the Destiny players, because they're part of us now too, we'll take them out as a coach. So I'll take them with Dynasty because I help pit for my boys.
That's pretty fucking cool, dude.
And we'll take them out with Seattle Uprising and the different teams.
Yeah.
And so they're there, and it's like, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to go out in the field and get pods? Do you want to fill? Do you want to wipe?
Yeah.
Here's what you can do, and they're basically just there to guide them and steer them what to do and kind of keep them out of the way.
Right.
So they get that experience with the pro team, which is also beneficial for the teams because sometimes you need an attitude check. When you're a player too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sometimes things get heated, and you don't know who's on the other side of that fence, and these banners don't stop noise.
Right.
So it's learning to be that role model as a pro player. But you're also got this kid that's influential, and then after they're done, they get to stay in contact with the players to be like, hey, what do you do in this situation? We have it all set up where they can
network for them. Good to be out, like you said, get them out of the house, get them networking. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and I
the
love
chapter teams are taking them out and doing stuff, and then we've got there's another nonprofit in New York out here. I should go see them right now, called One Love, and Yardley Love was the same thing. College girl started dating, got murdered. Same thing that happened to Allie 10 years ago. So they have this escalation workshop that they've developed. So now we go run these workshops where we do this 45-minute movie.
Oh, that's fucking great.
You bring the parents, as long as the kids are like 13, 14 and up.
Yeah.
Everybody watches this 45-minute movie that's, hey, they met, they start dating.
Right.
He starts controlling, she ends up murdered. And then we do these conversations where all the kids go into one room, all the parents go over here, have these conversations, then we bring them all back together and have a third guided conversation, and the kids are like, damn, that was happening to me.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend was doing this. And then the parents are back there like deer in the headlights, like, I never knew that this was going on. And it's like, right, because 65% of parents in this country are not in tune with their kids enough to even know, and they might just think that they're having an argument, we're fighting, right, or something.
Right, they don't see the signs.
They don't see the signs to know that, hey, your daughter or your son are being controlled and manipulated and all these pieces.
Right.
The next thing you know, they've gotten so far away from them that having conversations like I was doing,
yeah,
and it's like, no, I'm going to thump your boyfriend if I get him. And I would, chase the guy around.
Yeah.
Right? But Allie was being controlled. So by pure fear, she was afraid to get away from him.
Right.
But then here comes me, Captain Caveman style.
Yeah.
And I'm not realizing what's going on because...
And it's almost like pushing her back.
It was pushing her away. I've come to realize, at least that's my theory. And then boom. So you're not doing any good.
No.
No matter what you say, it's not registering with them because the mind has been altered.
Right, you're saying the manipulation factor.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to tag on something you said before, which I thought was really cool, because we were talking, like I said, we were talking about before, the Blizzard guys, and I said to them, it's almost like their thing is like, be the paintballer that you wanted to be when you were a kid.
Right.
When you were a kid and you were looking up to somebody, be that guy. So you could be that guy for somebody.
Yeah. We're actually probably September 4th, because we have our annual Allie Remembered charity game, the 25th in Denver. We're going to do we haven't quite decided what to call it yet. I'm too busy playing this weekend.
A little busy.
So I have to ask, Bud Orr and Dan Colby are on my board of directors along with B. Paxton. So we have to come up with a name, but we're going to get all of the chapter teams, which is all of ours, which also includes OG Iron Man and Misfit Toys and all these teams, all the Destiny teams.
Oh, also Misfit Toys is also associated with that. Ally Romero. Yeah, we know those guys well, man.
Yep. Known Eric for a long, long time.
Big E.
A Big E. And we're going to do a sort of like a new player day. We haven't decided what the name's going to be.
Right.
But all the chapter teams are going to be at the local field they play at that day. And we'll advertise it out across the paintball world. Or if you're a new player, first time, second time, or even an adult that's only played once or twice, you're going to get your chance to go out on the field that day. And it doesn't matter if it's speedball or in the woods.
Right.
All the teams, they'll be in all their gear and everything. We'll go out and they'll be mentors. So
that's amazing.
If I got
we need more of that.
30 kids standing there and there's like 10 of us, it's like, all right, I take this one, I take this one, this one. All right, you guys take their markers with them or not.
Right.
And go out there and like if you don't take your marker and you're standing there getting shot, you're a neutral player. We're all used to it, so suck it up. So you just get,
just get shot.
Just get shot. But it's here. Get this kid in, behind this cover and be, steer them and look over here.
I do. Yeah, I say that all the time. I say that all the time. So I'll rep on the weekend sometimes, and I try to tell some of these refs all the time, man. I'm like, and it's good. It's good for everybody. I'm like, you coach these kids up. They have a good time. They shoot more paint. It's good for them.
Right.
And honestly, and it's not always about this, but you're probably going to get a better tip too, as a private
as a ref, yeah.
Yeah, if you, especially if it's the birthday boy, or I always pick the kid, whatever kid I think is going to have the worst time.
Yeah.
If you can make him have the best time, everyone's having a good time. Because that one kid can, because they're always like, oh Billy, what's wrong? Like they're always, no, dude, just get him, coach him up.
This guy, DJ. What you need to do, what we do at Dynamic Paintball back in Aurora.
Yeah.
Mike found a bunch of the old Reds armbands. Because we're using them, armbands here. Have the field owner get some armbands, and your seasoned, experienced players, when they show up, have them in a bucket up at registration. So all of our guys will go and put an armband on, and there's a big sign when the players check in that says, if you need help, marker, advice, no matter what it is, either find a referee or find somebody wearing one of these armbands on or off the field. So we'll have people out there, oh my God's not working, the refs are doing things, we'll come over, we'll help. And we'll start playing and they'll be like, what do I do? and they know to look for these armbands.
Right. They know that's experienced player.
Yep.
Right.
Experienced guy.
Yep.
Dude, that's amazing. So, what do you guys have planned for the future for the Ally Remembered? I know we were talking about the the new player day or anything
new
like
player
that.
day.
But what else you guys have going on?
We are looking to try to start like a national new kids, sort of young guns type of event. It's like a mech type thing.
Right.
It's sort of in line with the PBSL.
Okay.
They can show up, pay an entry fee that's not as much, and then get out there and play an event. And we'll just mix them up.
Okay.
And it's set for them. Bunch of youth stuff.
Okay.
With that, we got the charity event coming up. We do an autism thing for Mike and all that, and then we're going to start doing. We'll film a little bit of it, hopefully tonight, if grandpas aren't asleep. Where we're doing what's called the Paintball Gentleman.
Okay. And what's
So
that
it's
about?
going to be, we'll try to film some tonight with me, Bud, and Dan, talking about, it's for male players.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about, anger and ego and things like that. And then we'll have the series start going where we're going to be bringing in special guests.
Oh, that's amazing.
And doing kind of like not a podcast, but like a webinar type thing.
Okay, yeah.
We'll do it on Zoom and we'll open it up
And people can
for
jump
people
in,
to
yeah.
join in and then put it out recorded later. And, talk, because we figure if we start getting, seasoned players and stuff like that talking, maybe more people will start listening.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Right, no.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So-
got to have the conversations to get it out there,
Yeah.
right?
Give me 30 minutes, 40 minutes of your time, and let's talk about, ego and stuff like that.
Yeah.
On the field's one thing. We get hot-headed and, call didn't go your way.
I mean, when the mask is on, it's a different story.
Right, that ball broke, and we're
Yeah.
out there cussing at each other. Not here, today, but you see that a lot with male players.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's a
female
passionate
players.
game, dude. It really
It
is.
is.
The game of passion.
But if you're like that then, what are you like
Off the field. Dude, 100%.
So let's combine the two to kind of be like, hey, every day is an interview.
Yeah,
You have to think in this mentality.
right.
You're walking around here and he's got this overshot on. If he's over here behind the car cussing and screaming and somebody sees it or their little kid comes around the corner, what did you just do?
Yeah,
Every day and everywhere you go is an interview. Unless you're at
100%.
home by yourself.
you only
So
get one
say
chance
it.
to make a first impression.
Exactly. So let's get that mentality kind of going, because we want to grow the sport. I know that's so said and it's overrated. But
Yeah,
that's why
right.
we're going to do this
Hashtag grow the
player
sport.
day.
Right, but that's
get
actually
people
growing
out.
the sport. That's
Right.
Like,
Right.
You're not saying it, you're enacting.
Exactly. But how much more can we do? If we can start doing this, and I've got 35 chapter teams that are out doing this, and toys are known, and I think everybody knows who Destiny is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do.
And they see all
Especially
these
the people listening
teams
to this.
doing this. What's to stop another team out here today from being like, we should be doing that in our community?
Dude, 100%.
And then they start doing something, or maybe they come to us and we're like, hey, this is what we're doing.
You never know.
I'm not patenting this stuff. I just want to see everybody do it.
Right.
So here's what we do. Get out there and do it on your own. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You could start a revolution, in paintball, but what do you see the most of? You see, I won't knock it, but if you go on YouTube, you see a lot of videos and you bring up paintball and maybe you see some players, good video footage, and maybe they're smoking in the background and they've got a joint or something. It's like, is that really paintball?
Right?
Type thing.
Or sometimes you got to think like, dude, a kid might watch this, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You never know who's around.
And do you want like their parents to come walking around the corner and then be like, you watching paintball? And they're doing what? Like, turn that shit off.
But if you're out, at a field and you're being a jerk, and you're a dad and you've just brought a birthday party out there on a Groupon, for example,
Right.
and some of this stuff's going on in a staging area because you've got these seasoned players over there, which a lot of them, are in camo sometimes, or you've got teams,
Right.
and they see this stuff. As a parent, what do you see? I'm there with my 10-year-olds for a birthday party. I'm seeing these guys in these fancy jerseys
Yeah.
doing this stuff, and to them it's normal, right? To us, you see it right now, this stuff
Right.
going on.
In this setting, it's all too familiar for us.
For us. But what is that group of 10-year-olds
Right.
sitting over there looking, seeing? What's the message?
Dude, 100%.
How do we fix
That's
this?
cool. That's cool. That's what I want to do. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's
It's not cool, but that's what that's what that kid's thinking. Oh, those are the cool guys. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that dude's got his last
Right.
name on his
But
jersey. He's
when you're
a pro.
the father,
You're like, I
looking
want
at
these
that,
kids,
and you're
like, I don't want my kid associating himself with
that type of behavior,
action.
which is normal to us in a lot of respects.
Right.
And I'm not knocking tournament because I'm a tournament player. I'm not knocking the scene, but I'm asking people to step back and look and go, man, we were doing that, 2 weeks ago at the NXL, and we were cussing and screaming at each other, and we paid no attention to all those little kids walking by.
Yeah. No, you're right, dude.
It's like, what did you just do to them? Because you have to step back and look at the bigger picture as to what you're influencing.
Dude, right? Something we talk about a lot is we saw it on the X Factor documentary. Was they were talking about dropping their young kids off the field to play for the team, and the one dad sat with like the owner of the team and was like, "Hey, listen, I need to get to know you because my kid's gonna be spending a lot of time with you, and I want to know what kind of man he's gonna be around."
Props to him.
And I heard that and I was like, dude, that guy, I've never thought of it like that. Like, he is so right.
He's so right, because
right.
parents these days should pay more attention.
Right? That's why
I'm not saying they all don't.
Right.
Some do. But a lot of, video games and all this stuff in society has changed from the days when we grow up.
Right.
So a lot of parents want to use cell phones. How many times do you go to the store and you're out in public and you see a little kid with a phone or a tablet in a stroller? Because they're given that's their break. Like, here, little Johnny.
Yeah.
Take this.
Take this, leave me
Because
alone.
it takes them away from that part of the reality, because that's a crutch.
Right.
As a electric babysitter.
Right.
Or the video games at home, and the kids just go play video, which, okay, they're lazy, type thing. But what can we do to influence them to get out?
To
so
get
if
out.
You have a better, we call ourselves family in the paintball industry, right? But do we act like family?
Right.
Can I get all these teams out here today to act on their best behavior when they leave this field, or even at this field right now? This is a great group. We got some great teams out here.
Right.
And it's mellow, and everybody's loving this. The vibe is different.
Very different.
Because this is something new back on Jerry Braun's field from 30 years ago, and we got half the Hall of Fame that we're playing.
Right.
It's a different vibe today.
Very different.
It's
It's
like,
a
take out the
barbecue.
band and
It's a
and
barbecue.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's a family barbecue.
Right.
Go to a local event, go to the NXL, go anywhere, and you're in that environment again that I'm talking about. Like, hey, we should all pay more attention.
Dude,
so we're just trying to push this message, like, here it is, to get the kids, but then I can control, shouldn't really say control, but we can guarantee we're putting these kids with vetted teams that are under our umbrella.
Right.
That I know, like Blizzard, for example.
Right. Those guys are hella
a
cool.
Hatred team, or East Coast Hawks, or Cobra Kai, and Team Laughing Coffins, and I got Vital Instinct. All these teams we've got. I can go put a bunch of kids with those teams, and I know for sure, if I'm not standing there to monitor it, those kids are in good hands.
Right. Dude, that's
they
amazing.
know what's going on, and they've got rules. We've got rules and regs, and they get it because we've taught them that this is what we're doing, this is what you represent, and this is our expectations, and it's that or you're gone type
Right.
of thing. So,
Dude, amazing. I love what you're doing. I'm so happy you could spend some time with us, as much time as you have. I mean, I really appreciate it, but I got to give one more thing to you
I
guys.
still have 45 minutes to the next game. We're good.
Cool. So how can people get involved if they want to?
They can reach out to me, Tom. They can just go to allyremember.org or
Okay.
Alley Remember on Facebook, and send us a message and say, hey, here's what we want to do. And me or Tom's wife Michelle, or Bud, or Dan Colby, or B. Paxton, or any of my rest of my board of directors will reach out and say, here's what do you want to do? Okay,
Right.
let's work together. I just had a field operator in Connecticut, and I forgot his name of his business. He's got a little store there, and he's had a domestic violence. I won't give you the details, but
Yeah.
he went through some stuff as a
Please
survivor.
don't. I had a hard time transitioning out of that the first time.
Well, he went through as a survivor and stuff, and then he saw what we were doing, and he called me a couple weeks ago, and he was like, how do I get involved with this? And he
Yeah.
told me his story, And I can tell you right now, there's other players here right now whose stories I know that have had issues. They were the survivors, or, we call them survivors. Victims are the dead ones.
Yeah.
I'm being blunt about it. That's just what I call it.
Yeah, it's
If you're
being
alive,
honest
you're a
about it.
survivor. If
Right.
you're a victim, you're dead, right?
Right.
To us. But I can tell you right now, there's players out here right now as we speak that have been through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's great what you're doing, like spreading awareness and education about everything going on. Ego, this, that, and the other thing. I'm fucking so impressed, dude. I really love what you're doing.
It's for us. It's a way to give back to something. Because to me, when I started doing it, the one goal was if I could save one life, then I've basically, I don't say vindicated Allie's death.
Right.
Because she's looking over our shoulder because she was wanted to be a helpful person. So it's like, hey, if I save one person. So like we do get players that'll call up from our chapter teams and stuff and go, hey, I got a friend that she's trying to get out, etc.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, so where are they? What state are they in? What's the current situation?
Right.
They'll get out, but then you've got to be really careful because then they'll go back.
Right.
The last one was like, nope, I'm ready to get out. She had moved from Denver, gone up Seattle somewhere, and said, nope, enough's enough. I got to get out of here. But had nothing
To go
but
back.
the clothes in a bag and her dog. And so we put her up in a hotel for a week. And
Wow.
then we arranged for another person to go drive up from California, get her, and drive her back to Denver.
That's amazing.
She couldn't put the dog in a kennel. He's an older dog and husky and everything. She's like, he'll freak out. So we're like, can't fly you back. So let's arrange a ride to get you back to Denver. Now she's in a safe place and
Dude, that's
working
amazing.
and stuff like
Holy
that. So,
smokes. So actually, after going off that, like, would you say you guys have like, what's like your greatest like maybe success story, like, or something like that was maybe you're like, wow, I'm so happy we were able to pull that off. 'Cause after you just said that,
that's a
I'm
good
like,
one, but I've got.
'cause that's what I thought. I was like, wow, that's really good. You may not even be able to top that, but if you do have one that's better.
We've got 3 kids on our team that play for me, and we're starting to get them into, because one just turned 18 and the other 2 are like 16.
Okay.
But starting to kind of get them into tournament play. But all 3 of them are domestic violence survivors.
Oh wow.
The one kid, they've all had bad backgrounds. There's some nasty stuff. One of them is his father's in prison for murder.
Oof.
One of them was when we were out in Chicago at the NXL, was pistol whipped
Oh, holy
and
shit.
beaten and had his skateboard stolen.
Sheesh.
Told me about it when I got back, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But he was just out riding around in his neighborhood, and it's probably gang members. So Weeze, with the OG Ironman,
Weeze is the best, man. I love him.
unbeknownst to me, he used to be a skateboarder
Oh yeah.
and actually has a jig to build. He used to build custom longboards. I never knew this about Weeze. So I was talking to him, and because I was pissed off, fired up.
Yeah,
So
you're
I
all
was like,
lit up.
Just call Weeze, vent to him, and then our internal people.
Yeah.
And he's like, you gonna get him a board? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy him a brand new one that got stolen. And he was like, no, you're not. He literally went over, got the lumber, walks
That's
out in his
sick.
garage. He starts pulling all these tools
I saw
out.
What he did. Yeah, I saw the work he does. He does phenomenal work too.
He built a one-of-a-kind, all-autographed OG Ironman skateboard that we gave this kid.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna have to talk to him about that when he comes over here. Fuck yeah, that's so sick.
It's awesome.
That's
So
amazing.
That's the little things of trying, getting these kids and getting them involved.
Yeah.
And we won't even let them go out and play when school's in. If their grades aren't good enough, it's like, oh, you want to come out and play today? Okay, what are your grades?
Yeah, Carter.
It's a requirement that we have.
Yeah.
And then one of them be like, I'm getting a D, and okay, because if they try to tell me they got C's and above, I'll just ask the moms.
Yeah.
You seen their report card? Are they good? Yeah, they're good. Nope, he's got a D. Okay, good. He admitted it,
Yeah.
which was good, but sorry, you're staying home and doing homework.
Yeah.
Great.
So, we're driving that focus.
Got to pass class, man.
A lot of times the dads aren't around. So we're not trying to take that role of being the father, but we can be mentors as men.
Right.
And, as we call the Paintball Gentleman, and take kind of that role, like, YMCA and Big Brother, Big Sister programs and
Right.
stuff. But they like playing. So we got them gear, they come out to play, and it's like one day 2 of them didn't help, clean up. and we'd done this event, and they're sitting over there messing with their phones and stuff.
Yeah.
And then go off and shoot some paint at the target range. And Tom was like, sees that, and he's almost got him by the ears.
Yeah.
You're doing the old school. Walks him over there, and he's laying into him as a mentor should be. Like, you come out here, it's this, and here's the expectations.
100%.
You pick up, you clean up. The tent's got to go. This stuff's got to go back in the trailer.
Right.
This isn't a free ride for you to come out and shoot people all day long and then sit there and do nothing.
Right.
And they're just like, okay. And then we ride them in a healthy way, to get them. So, the next time, what do you think happens? We're like, what do we need to do?
Right.
Let's get this. Let's get that. It's like, good. Now you've got your grades up, so you can come back out and play with us.
Right, 100%. Dude, I love what you're doing, man. What you're doing is really fantastic, not only for paintball and domestic violence and that awareness, dude. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And again, it's AllyRememberedFoundation.org if you want to help out. Andy is the best. And, dude, thank you again so much for your time, man.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. So I can talk to Weeze, and you can get Bud over here, and get Dan Colby over here.
We'll get everybody.
I already am. I've already locked in Weeze, and
Tom K's here, so you can go grab him.
I got a little Weeze on.
Anybody that's on the band, every one of them needs to come over here.
Me and Gene and Renee's over there. And
it's friggin'
We'll get them all, man. We'll get them all.
Yeah.
Dude, again, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Cool. Hey guys, welcome back, and thank you again. We have DJ joining us. DJ is a big part of the Ally Remembered Foundation. We just spoke to Andy, so now we're going to let DJ talk about a little bit what he does. So DJ, introduce yourself and tell us what you do for the foundation.
Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it a lot. So again, my name's DJ Bresette. I've been working with Ally Remembered about 2 years, and what I do, I'm kind of a consultant for child behavior for them.
Okay.
So my main job, like my day job, I'm a preventive caseworker for Liberty Resources, which is a big nonprofit in New York and a little bit of Texas. We're starting to take over there.
Oh, awesome.
And what that is, it's kind of like a child protective, if you guys know what that is, where you go in with the net, take the kid.
Yeah.
I'm actually there to sort of prevent that if needed for these borderline cases.
Okay.
So a lot of it's kind of like teen pregnancy, kids when they're not going to school.
Right.
Also stuff like the parent might have some sobriety issues or a little bit of domestic violence in the home.
Right.
And they want me there to be like, okay, what's going on? Is this still safe?
For the kid, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. So, I mean, you've probably seen some wild shit, man.
Yeah. I definitely have seen some wild things, but it's oddly mainly a paperwork
kind
of job. Yeah.
And that's actually good. I'm glad. I'd rather you say that than like, no,
yeah, rather be nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe talk about maybe some of your severe cases, where you really helped out and made a big difference.
All right. So like, I've worked 2 main jobs in the social work world before doing preventive. I used to supervise visits for my local agency.
Okay.
And what that is, when a child is removed from their biological parents and placed into foster care, the biological parents still have rights to see the kid, and the kid still has rights to see the parent.
Right.
And while the court is going through, I used to be the guy who would sit there and make sure everyone's safe, the parents not being creepy, or kind of coaching the kid through the court process.
Right.
And ideally, it's just a person hanging out with their kid and rebonding and becoming healthier again.
Right.
So some of the craziest thing I did, and I can't give too much detail due to confidentiality.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't want to get you in trouble, dude.
Yeah. So I worked with this woman who was an IV addict, and she had a baby that was 3 months preemie, 15 days old is when they came into the visitation center. In New York, we really pride ourselves on not doing infant removals very soon because there's just that bond with the mom.
Right.
That's such a sacred thing. This mom, because of her addiction, and she was in use during birth.
By the way, you just got photobombed.
Understandable.
That's why I was laughing.
But yeah, she was in active use when she came to the visitation center, and we had to do what's called a 6-foot visit. Like, not COVID or anything. I had to stay 6 feet in case she nodded and I caught the baby. Luckily, it never happened. But just like preparing and seeing her do that and be like, are you okay? Do you need to bind up and all that? She only did a few visits before losing her rights, sadly.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's what kind of, because like, I mean, you do a lot of good work, man, and I'm sure you help out a lot of kids that are, can't help themselves. So I really want you to be able to share that message with, our listeners for sure.
Yeah, like a lot of it, like what the main message of Allie Remembered is teen dating violence. And when you have a teen, doesn't matter if they're a guy, girl, whatever in between, you got to make sure your kid's not getting controlled by their partner. So if you're seeing their drastic change in behavior, like it's one thing if your kid's grooming a little more or whatever, that's good. Like grooming up, not being groomed. But if you see your kid like selling their car, they're all of a sudden like looking like they're using drugs, and they're being controlled and not spending any time at home for not obvious reasons. They got to be aware of that. And also one thing Allie Remembered we're hoping to do too is work with the One Love Foundation and provide like...
Andy spoke about that, yeah.
Yeah, so you heard the whole spiel, and I can't wait for us to do that, go into schools and places and just get people aware of the warning signs.
Yeah, no, I think that's super important because, I mean, it's something super passionate to Andy. It affected him. I'm sure it affects a lot of people. So getting the message out there and getting people educated on the matter and maybe the signs and what they could do about it, I think is something really important.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's great that you guys are going to schools, different communities and stuff like that. I really think that that's great.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. So what communities have you been to? Are you going, like, how far are you trying to spread? I know we talked about Texas. Like, how far have you traveled really for this to make a difference?
So my travel, like, it's actually pretty local because I am on that caseworker level. So I've really been in Oswego County and a little bit of Syracuse area.
Okay.
And my work is directly with clients. So one-on-one, one-on family. Trying to be like, hey, how's your day? Hey, where'd this bruise come from? That sort of stuff. So a lot of it's just been in that sort of area, immersing myself locally. So I work with several school districts out there. I've worked directly with the government and also with the nonprofits because they kind of run like businesses.
Cool.
So I've been around like 4 or 5 different ones. So it would take a while to list them all.
To list them all? No. I just wanted, because I know you got a place, so I just really wanted to give you a chance to kind of speak a little. But if people want to help out in any way and they're in the local Oswego area or Syracuse area, where can they go to? Oswego.
Yeah. So in Oswego County specifically, I'm a big supporter of what's safe. Like the program's called SAFE, so Service to Aid Family.
Okay.
And it's through a company called Oswego County Opportunities, and they are a domestic violence shelter. I worked for their company for 2 years, and I don't know where the shelter is. That's how secure it is. They had me, if I had to pick anyone, drop them off, go to a local center. So contacting OCO directly, and they're going to tell you directly what the shelter needs.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, usually they always need tampons, diapers, that sort of like hygiene stuff.
Products. Yeah.
They always need stuff like that. Food donations here and there. Kind of call them and ask what they want for food. Right. They might have 3,000 cans of creamed corn. So if you can be like, hey, here's some beef and stuff, they will love it. Yeah. Toys, and especially when it comes to teenagers too, and especially teenage boys.
Some stuff to distract them, dude.
Yeah, like whether it's some clothes, some video games, maybe throw them some Paintball magazine, you know. Just kind of doing stuff that get them out of that life a little bit if you can. And also too, just being a good neighbor is the best thing you can do. So talking to your community, talking to your neighbors, because how many people our age live in apartments or right next to people where you hear everything going on? The way you can really reach out and help somebody is just being that nice person, and maybe they open up to you.
Yeah, that community member for sure, man.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. So I know you got to go in a little bit, so I don't want to take too much of your time, but you play paintball. It's how we all got together and all ended up here. So how did paintball find you, dude?
So I was 10 years old, and I was a young, awkward kid, real pudgy, and my mom, I was living in Virginia at the time, and there's a field called the Swamp, and they had these giant X-ball fields. I was like, what is that? Yeah. And all of a sudden, my mom took me out, 10th birthday, and I've been hooked.
Wow.
But I fell in love with it about 3-4 years ago. I was living out in Vermont, playing Colchester paintball, some pump, and got into it there.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. And what's just your goal in paintball? Are you just a rec hunter for fun guy? Do you like kind of competing? What's your main jam?
So I love I love all paintball, but I love competing. It's where I get that aggressive energy out from my work.
Right.
Some people talk about self-care and taking baths, arts and crafts. I'm about I want to
put the mask on.
Yeah. I want to shoot some people.
Nothing better than bunkering someone in the face to get over those Monday blues.
Exactly. So I'm sorry, what was the question again?
That was just how you found paintball and stuff like that, and what you thought about tournament paintball, and do you play on a team or anything like that?
Yeah, so I play, like, this season I'm helping out Check 6 Chaos at the Check 6 field in Rome, but I'm an ankle buster. Salvador Giocabi, he's the one who got me into the tournament play and really did a lot to help me out. And he also does a lot too with socializing and helping out. Ali remembered. So he gave me a call one day. They needed a body for the CNYPL, and he was like, "Yo, can you do this?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. I'm in, dude.
Yeah. And so I've been doing it ever since, and I love tournament woodside. I'd love to go as far as I can with the woods.
Yeah.
Let's see how I keep doing today.
Yeah.
So how are you doing today with that being said?
Honestly,
you're playing with Team Fox, you said, for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and just met these guys today, right?
Yeah, I met all of them today.
That's always interesting.
That's awesome, dude. I mean, whatever. So you got the call, you're here. What do you think of these woods fields? You ever see anything like this? I know you're from upstate New York, but I mean, things are kind of gnarly out there.
Yeah, so I haven't seen a field this big and also this clean, honestly, where I'm not worrying about poison ivy or anything like that. So out where I'm at, GRC Paintball, they have a really nice hyperball field, some big woods ball field, rounds field. Check 6, we got a little woods ball field, we're growing.
Right.
But AAA, where I work a lot, and it's actually my territory for my caseload too. Right. They have some really nice smaller woods fields. It's where New York Ghosts are from. That's one of their home fields.
Right.
And that's always just a lot of fun going out there. So it's usually not as open, and there's a more dense, and then you never know what's in the density out there.
Right.
So I like the woods like this, where it's essentially 2 or 3 different fields. The center's different left and right.
Right, dude. So I don't want to take up too much time because I know you got to go, but dude, thank you for hanging out with us, telling us about what you do, educating our listeners about domestic violence and everything you do, man.
Hey, thank you for giving us the platform, and the voice and the time.
Dude,
thank
always, dude. Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yo, dude, that was great. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.